back, everybody. This is the thejonnymar, and I am continuing with Stardew Valley. So my last episode, we finally got to Ginger Island in the Fern Islands area. And we saw a huge dinosaur on a nearby island and also saw the volcano of Ginger Island and started setting up the farm area on the island as well. In this episode, we are not going to be heading back to Ginger Island because we have a lot to do around the farm and in the valley. So there's a couple of different things. Yes, you're pregnant. That is one of the things. We are waiting on the arrival of our offspring, whether it is a boy or a girl, and we are also trying to finalize a name for that eventual child as well. But there are a variety of things we want to do. We want to actually name our horse too in this particular episode. We want to continue to get ready for the planting on the island as well, and then continuing to work on our powder melons here. Now, they are a winter exclusive crop, of course. One of the 4 that was added in, I believe, update 1.6, along with carrots and squash and, was it broccoli? I think those were all of the different types of new crops that were added. We do have some broccoli here in the greenhouse as well. We got ourselves another ancient fruit finally. I feel like they nerfed that as well. I don't know if that's actually the case or not, but it seems like they grow less often. And we got our first bottle of ancient fruit wine as well. One of the most valuable items in the game. So that's nice, I guess. We'll just stick with the 1 bottle of wine and continue to make our hops. Alright, so let's name our horse. So the winning name on Patreon was Gold Rush. So that will be the name of our horse going forward. And then, of course, we currently have some polls open to name our child, whether a boy or a girl. So we'll see what happens with that. Alright, anything of interest here at the Traveling Merchant? I did look it up, and they no longer sell void eggs. So that's unfortunate. Red cabbage would be good if we were doing the original bundles, but we're not. But there is another way to get a void egg. And then we have an item to drop off here at the museum as well, and this should actually be, I believe, our 60th item. So we finally should be able to access the sewers. So that will allow us to continue the quest line for the wizard, getting his ink back. And then it'll also allow us to access Krobus, the special shopkeeper down there, which will allow us to get a bunch of new items, especially iridium sprinklers, because he sells them every Friday. Now, unfortunately, we're not going to get down there today, since it is a Friday, but we can start doing that next week. Alright, so that was a pretty successful day. We got our horse and named it Gold Rush. And then we also finally got access to the sewers. We should get the key to access it tomorrow. So if everything works out okay, Gunther should be showing up at our front door once we head out of the house. And then that'll allow us to access the sewers. But we shall see. If not, well, then we have a couple more items to add to the museum. So let's see if we get our special cutscene. We are going to, of course, check the weather first. Beautiful sunny day. And then it's going to rain on Ginger Island. That's unfortunate for them over there. Those 2 weird people we met in my last episode. Birdie, the old woman, and whatever the name of the boy. Let's see what happens. Yes, it is Gunther. It's not that early, really. You're welcome. Not a big deal. The coveted golden shovel. Makes me think of the golden Shovel Knight special amiibo, I believe there was. You're welcome. Do we get some sort of a reward for it? It's not like I've been talking about it this whole playthrough. Like how he's always holding his hat. I assume he's holding his hat. A rusty key, huh? Interesting. That gets added to our wallet. Wonderful. And we're going to make very quick use of that. I'll do some chores, of course, around the farm, but then we are going to head over to the sewers so we can access it and use our rusty key. So let's do a few things here. We do have a quest for Clint as well. Wants us to deliver an amethyst to Emily. And we also have to catch a squid, I believe, or something like that for Willie. So we'll have to work on that too. I believe those only come out at night in winter, but I could be wrong. I'll have to look into it. Alright, and look, our raccoon friend has found a friend. In this case, a wife. And the raccoon's wife sells all of the new special seeds. Powder melons, broccoli, summer squash, and carrots. You have to give them unique items here, including some seeds in order to get those if you want. And now we will start up the second part of this quest line. And actually, it looks like we might be able to do this. We can access crystal fruit and powder melons. We just need to get a dehydrator, which I should be able to get from Pierre's. But here's a crystal fruit. And we do have one more item to donate here. Surprisingly, I never donated a chicken statue. That's one of those things that tends to show up on your farm, and you do get another one. And so it's pretty common, at least historically. I don't know if they change the rate of the appearance, but I know I've, in previous playthroughs, gotten like 10 or 15 of those in a playthrough. But this is the first one we found in this particular playthrough. The ancient people were very fond of chickens. I mean, they're useful. And then we have our amethyst here for Emily. I don't know if I know how to cook that or not. You're welcome. Yes, we got it from Clint's. Poor Clint. She is so oblivious. But thank you for the smooch, I appreciate it. That's it. Poor Clint. He gets nothing. And here is the sewers that we can now access with our rusty key. And it is a dank and not the most healthy place to be, as you might expect most sewers are. But this is Krobus. He is a shadow person, I believe, or something of the like. And yes, we're looking for a dark talisman. And he lets us know that he dropped it while he was exploring a tunnel in the corner of the sewers, which has a lot of bugs in it. But he is going to allow us to access that area, and then we are going to be able to find it. So he shoots a magic spell over there to the left, and that opened the area up. We also have this statue here, which can change your professions if you want, for a measly 10,000 gold. And then if you want, you can fish as well in the sewer water. You can catch one of the legendary fish down there, the mutated carp or something like that. And then Krobus sells a few items. Specifically, he has one particular item that we definitely want, and that is the Void Egg. So that will allow us to continue with our wizard quest line. We have to convert that into Void Mayo in order to finish that quest off. And then Krobus also sells a few other things, as well as a Star Drop. So of course we're going to buy that. One of these special items that will increase our stamina and energy in this game. I believe that's 3 or 4 now that we have. I don't know how many there are total in the game. 6 or 7 maybe. But it reminds us of wealth, of course it does. And then we're holding the Void Egg above our head. But like I said, the thing that is of most interest in Krobus's shop is actually the final item here that we are not going to get in this playthrough, and that is the Return Scepter. That costs 2 million gold, but that'll bring you back to your farm from anywhere. That is definitely a good item to get once you get into like year 3 or 4 when you have that much money. But the other items that he sells is on Fridays, I believe. He sells the Iridium Sprinklers. So you can buy one of those each Friday, which can be very helpful because otherwise those are not too easy to build. You need iridium ore and bars to do that. In this area we have lots of bugs. There's actually a community board quest that you can get that requires you to get bug meat. About 100 pieces of it. So this is a good area to access in order to fulfill that particular quest. So if we happen to find it before the end of the year, maybe we can do that in this particular place. But now we get the Dark Talisman. It is covered in bug slime. Gross. But you need to bring that up to the train track area north of Linus's camp. Alright, and Pierre, we need the dehydrator in order to continue the raccoon questline. So yes, we will buy something from you, only because we absolutely have to. Otherwise, we would get it from Joja. Alright, so we need to build a dehydrator. That will allow us to make dried powder melons, I believe is what we need. And then we also need a mayo maker, and that is for the void mayo. And then we also need a preserves jar, and that is to make the crystal fruit jam or jelly or whatever. So we will add those new appliances to our kitchen here and get all that stuff going. We don't have the powder melons yet, but we can get everything else going. Now we're going to want to change out our bed too to make it more Joja-like. So we got that new bed from the prize ticket, and we can use that instead of this pretty standard bed that we have. So there we go. So, doesn't take too long and we get the void mayo. Don't eat it. It's not good for you. But it is good for the wizard quest. And then we added a few more items up here, including our chicken statue. So our place is looking, I don't know, it looks okay, I guess. I've never really gotten into decorating the house in this game. I know some people, like I said in previous episodes, spend a lot of time making sure their farm looks a very particular way and the house and things like that, but that's never been a huge interest of mine. I just do it functionally and go about my day. Making money, growing crops, raising animals perhaps, and other things as well. I've debated that, whether to start raising animals this late in the series. Doesn't seem like it would really be worth it. Tomorrow is the Festival of Ice, which is another event, so I'll be checking that out in my next episode. But basically you have to have animals for at least a couple weeks before they start producing any sort of byproducts. And so it's a big expense initially, and really it's not worth it except if you're going to do it for a long time. I have done previous playthroughs where I have basically been a pig farmer just for truffles. And then they find quite a few of those every day, and that makes a lot of money. What do you want, Pierre? Are you ready to come over to the winning side? No. I thought you were going to shut down your store and start working for Joja, or maybe become a licensee of Joja. But he's going to start selling new crops in the new seasons once the second year starts. We're not going to see that. But it does look like our powder melons came in. And our horse is not there. Where is it? Just doesn't show up in cutscenes. But magically it's back. So that's good. But we will be taking part with the Festival of Ice. There's a fishing contest we're going to want to win. And hopefully we'll be able to do so. And that has been your moment of mindfulness for this episode. We picked a bunch of powder melons. Alright, let's stick this dark talisman into this weird statue up here with the chicken legs. And it's gonna fly away mysteriously. Obviously reminiscent of the house we saw on Spirit's Eve as well. And there's a special teleporter here that'll take us into this secret area. And then we're not gonna get too far until we find a goblin. You want to pass? I'm sorry, this is private property. So we have to figure out a way to get past the goblin. I believe there's a book in the museum that you can find, one of the lost books that will tell you about goblins. And one of the things it mentions is that they do like void mail. We might have read that already in a previous episode. But we're going to give him the void mayo and he's going to run away into the house and then just disappear. And this is the witch's house. So there's some interesting stuff in here. We're going to try not to make eye contact. We can sacrifice a strange bun to let monsters appear on our farm. No thank you. There's a few other appliances here that we really have no need for currently. Yeah, a clean floor. That's what they use that broom for. It's totally not Quidditch. Or flying around in general through the countryside. Curse the Countryside, a spell book for the rural witch. But here is the magic ink that we are looking for. Now, interestingly, we can use this teleporter to go right to the wizard's tower, showing you the connection between the two, obviously. And this allows us to access the wizard's basement. Now, once we leave here, if we go up the stairs, we will have a cutscene with the wizard where we'll give him back his ink. No, I don't want to change my appearance. But because we do not have the wizard at 2 hearts, we cannot get back into the basement. So we're going to be stuck and have to run around after that and actually leave the tower through the door. But if you do have 2 hearts, then you can just go back into the basement. So poor Gold Rush is going to be stuck up by that opening. But the nice thing about the horse is that I don't know if she lives alone. That's not really my job to know that. And I'm not sure you want to know either, whether she's started to shack up with anybody new. Yes, reward. Cold, hard gold would be nice. But we get a book instead that we can access that allow us to build certain things that cost a lot of money. And are well beyond what we're going to be able to do in this playthrough. But they are good items, and we'll check them out in a second. But yeah, we can't head back through, so we're just going to have to run around. The horse, though, you don't have to worry about it. It will go back to its stable at the beginning of the next day. So you can always find it, no matter where you leave it. And you're welcome. We like helping people. But yeah, we can't go back into the basement. Just remember, it was Joja that saved your magic ink. So make sure to do all of your shopping there. So one of the things we can build here is a Junimo hut. This will allow us to have Junimos pick crops for us. We also have some of these obelisks. These allow you to instantly transport to the various areas of the world. Again, they cost quite a bit to build, and then you need particular items in order to build them as well, associated with those areas. And then the gold clock. For the person that has everything, just a cool 10 million gold to build that. I'm not surprised, you creepy old man. Alright, so one more item to donate. Found a couple items in this particular episode. And then we will finish up and call it a day. I'm doing okay. Got a lot done. Named our horse, accessed the sewers, finished up that side quest. Quite a bit we were able to do. today is also Caroline's birthday. So as always, we are going to have some coral for you. Glad you enjoy it, just like everybody else. But that'll be it for this particular episode. We managed to do a couple of different things around the valley. In my next episode, we will have a festival to get to, or we'll do some fishing. So as always, viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, if you're watching this live when it goes live on Sunday in October, on the 19th, I believe, around is when it's going to go live, you can still vote to name the eventual child we have. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next episode. So long. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and leave a comment below. Please also subscribe to my channel and press the notification bell. See you next time.